So, I bet you've been in the Globe Arena a couple of times before.
Yeah, I've been here before. Sometimes at Westlife, we did a couple of tours here, and we actually shot a DVD here in 2004. A great concert here. Like it was, such a great night. I think it was about 18,000 there because the floor was all standing as well. So, yeah, some great memories of the Globe.
Yeah. So, how was it to come out of the Globe today with your colleagues?
Well, with my new band.
Yeah.
It's really good. I think for years I've watched Eurovision, and over the past 3 years I've been the spokesperson. So, good evening, wherever it's Dublin College. So, I kind of always knew about Eurovision. Even as a kid, I watched Johnny Logan and different people. Always had that burning desire deep down to one day represent your country, and I don't think you can do anything more proud than actually do something that represents your country. It's a huge honour. So to bring that and to come back to the Globe, where I've got some great memories, it's pretty special, and I think it's special for everybody because we've been working hard since January, February to get it right. And probably the first time for many of the guys to be on stage that big. Obviously they all, are used to stage, but not maybe not 15, 18,000. But what we've all noticed, I think, is the size of it all and the real nice, the buzz around it. It's like being part of the Olympics. It's really incredible. And even though we're only here 24 hours, we don't want it to end.
Cool. Can you introduce your band?
Yeah, so that's Ian, and that's Jay, and that's Jenny, and that's Janet. And we've one guy at home at the moment, and his dad's not well, so he had to stay at home, and so hopefully he'll travel out as soon as he's okay.
So when did you decide to be a part of Eurovision Song Contest?
Well, it was always in my mind, even in the Westlife years. I always, in Ireland we were spoiled in the 80s and the 90s because we won so often.
Yeah.
And we never won in soccer, and we never won in anything else. But the Eurovision, we were like, yes, you can't beat us in Eurovision. But that has changed. That's a lot different now. Ireland, we're now no longer, although we have the record, we're now, I suppose, more minnows in Eurovision. We haven't qualified for 2 years, and I've sensed the disappointment back home when I'm going in to deliver the results, and people on the street love the Eurovision, and Ireland aren't there. So it's a big disappointment when you're not there in the final. So I think there's probably a little bit of snobbery and cynicism about Eurovision, and I suppose I wanted to show people, if I can, that actually, we can qualify again. We can be in the final, and that's my big aim. I think all of our aims is just to get to the final again, and in the final, then who knows what can happen. But it's sad for us not to be there, So hopefully, fingers crossed, we can qualify and have a great party with everybody.
How did you pick the song?
Well, I co-wrote the song with two guys. One guy called Ronan Hardyman, who's right there. Put your hand up, Ronan. Ronan is Ronan Hardyman, is a John. Take the moment, Ronan. Take the moment. So Ronan is I know you wouldn't think it by looking at him, but he's a very talented composer, songwriter, and he's written all of Lord of the Dance for Michael Flatley over the years. Had a very successful career so far. And then another songwriter called Wayne Hector, who wrote Flying Without Wings for Westlife, World of Our Own, Swear It Again, all of What Makes a Man, loads of songs. So the three of us got together, and it was part of my solo album, which is obviously out now and coming out around Eurovision. But Sunlight was the one that we just felt had a really hooky chorus, catchy chorus. Remember in Eurovision, you have 3 minutes to be memorable, and most people probably have never heard the songs before they watch the show. So we just felt Sunlight had that catchiness to it.
Take some questions from the floor. The gentleman in the back, the black shirt.
Thank you. Hello, Nicky.
Hello, how are you?
Good to see you. Fine, thank you. I'm Fernando Mendez. I'm with Radio International. I understand that this is the first time that Public Television Ireland has gone for an internal selection, and you have been the chosen one. What crossed your mind when you were offered the possibility to represent Ireland?
Well, I actually approached RTE because I've been around Eurovision doing the votes, and like I said, we hadn't qualified. So I'm in there on the Friday for rehearsals and delivering the results, and then having watched the semi-final last year and the year before, and the year before that we were last. And I suppose for me, I knew deep down Ireland were probably considering changing how they selected the song. Like, obviously in Sweden, and I'm sure you all know this, the huge Melody Festival, and it's an amazing spectacle. And also, it's one of those where everybody loves it. The public love it. The people in it love it. And in Ireland, we had loads of different selection type processes. And I think at that point, because we hadn't qualified, I went to our team myself and I said, look, I'm releasing an album. I have this one song that's going to be the first single. I would love to represent Ireland in Eurovision. I would love to try and change how we see it, because we saw it so differently many years ago. And I'd love to be, to let's try. I'm not saying I can. I'm not saying I'm the big saviour, but I think we have a chance with this song if I go back to the global arena and give my best shot. Look, anything can happen. I'd love to, to try and change that for Ireland. And it was a big deal because lots of singer-songwriters in Ireland didn't get the chance this year. And I understand their pain in that, but like Eurovision, it'll be back next year, it'll be back the year after. I think Ireland needed to do something different, and this year it was me. Hopefully it pays off, we'll wait and see.
Yes, please. Gentlemen, two here. Yeah. Alistair, you can start.
Hi Nicky, Alistair Birch from SBS Radio in Australia. I can tell you we've got a lot of sport back home for Ireland.
Thank you.
But my question is about RSVP magazine. They included you in their top 10 list of Ireland's sexiest men. So I'm going to ask you the same question I asked Evita from Armenia. How does it make you feel to be judged by your appearance rather than your accomplishments? And how does it feel to come second to a rugby player?
Who beat me? Who was it?
Brian O'Driscoll.
Brian O'Driscoll. Okay. Am I sexy than Brian O'Driscoll, guys? What did you say? No. I know Brian. He's a very cool guy. First of all, it's fun. It's nothing serious. You have a laugh at these things. It's always nice to be in there rather than not in there. But I suppose I do own quite a lot of hair paste. I do try and put a lot of hair product in. I do try and look in the mirror every second opportunity. But it's all fun. I think for something like that, if you can win it, well then it's the biggest thing in the world. If you don't, then it's like, sure. Doesn't matter. But it's nice to be in there.
Please.
Hi, it's Martijn van der Veen from the Netherlands. I read about you that you were also a very successful soccer player, but in the end you decided to go for music and not for soccer. What is the reason that you chose for the music?
Well, it was kind of chosen for me really because I was a goalkeeper, and most goalkeepers are very tall. And I'm 5'10", so I don't consider myself to be small, but for a goalkeeper, that is, not the tallest. And if you look at any of the big keepers in the world, like Peter Schmeichel back was 6'4", Van der Sar from Holland, 6'5". So lots of the keepers nowadays are very big. So it was always my height was always against me as a goalkeeper. But I did play professional football in England at 16 I left home and signed professional for Leeds United and spent 2 years there. Great times. I also was very lucky and honoured to play for Ireland under 15s, 16s and 18s. So football was my life before music. My dad was a singer, music was always in my family, but it was when football ended at 19 when I went for an audition then for Westlife.
You know that Julio Iglesias was a goalkeeper as well.
I heard that actually, and I think wasn't the Pope John Paul that died, the last Pope? I think he was a goalkeeper for Poland.
Julio was in Real Madrid.
Oh, was he?
Yeah. So, more questions from the floor. At the back there, please.
Hello Nicky, it's JP from Radio International. When you were in Westlife, were there actually any plans that you would represent Ireland at Eurovision together as the band?
No, there was never plans. I think, and this is probably some of the part of me doing it that might change hopefully some opinion on it, because when you're in a band like Westlife, the record companies are making all the decisions with your management, and Simon Cowell and Psycho Records and people like that. I know they love Eurovision because I've seen articles, I've spoken to Simon many times about Eurovision. And the thing about Eurovision in the UK and probably in Ireland is everybody watches it, everybody wants to win it. Everybody wants to be a part of the big day, the big spectacle. And I think, in my opinion, is if you want to actually be a part of it, then, drop the snobbery and actually try and do something a little bit differently. And I think Simon Cowell would love, I don't know if you know Simon Cowell, but if Simon got the opportunity to do it for the UK, I think he would. So yeah, it's never plans for Westlife. Maybe one day when there's a reunion, who knows? You know, maybe if I have a great time here, I can say, lads, let's do the Eurovision. But yeah, I think down the road, I think, if I'm honest, most artists are probably afraid of failing at Eurovision. Most artists that have had a pop career or a rock career look at Eurovision and go, well, it's a competition, so, you know, I might not win it, or I might not do well, and that, you know, so I think you've got to try and be afraid, or not afraid of that fear.
Yes, please. More. At the back, far back. Yes.
Hi, I'm Simon from Poland. I can confirm that the late Pope was the goalkeeper.
Was he any good?
I don't think it's a football crowd.
But the question is, do you want Vatican to participate in the contest? No, but seriously, you are the face of the Eurovision in Ireland by giving the points, and the question is, except of the UK, which countries would like to hear the 12 points from?
Everybody. Yeah, I mean, obviously, you know, I think the way I see Eurovision working is, the last 5 or 6 years for me, in my opinion, is the best songs are starting to really do well. And you see that your neighbours, culturally they enjoy it. For example, Ireland will enjoy a lot of the UK music, the UK will enjoy a lot of the Irish music, so there is a bit of a cultural thing there. Maybe the same as Latvia, Lithuania, Russia, Ukraine. So depending on where you live, you like and know the same type of things. So I think if you can pick up big scores from people who know you, like you, and maybe pick up good scores from everywhere, you can do well. That is the plan. But if you're asking me who do I want 12 points from, everybody would be great.
I must say, it is a weird experience giving the points. I've done it twice.
Yeah.
And you stand in line waiting for something and it's over in 30 seconds.
Yeah.
And it's like, was this it?
And you spend time thinking, don't mess this up. Don't, it's 30 seconds, don't mess this up.
So weird. More questions? Yes, please.
Hello, Eurovision Spot. It's a question about your job. Speaking some moments ago from your job as goalkeeper. You are a goalkeeper, football player, singer, policeman, of course. Do you want to add another job to professional curriculum? Maybe.
Well, in case anybody's confused, I was never a police officer. I did want to be a police officer, and I did do the test for the police, and I did get in, but I didn't. Westlife took over. Right now, I host a radio show in Ireland on RTE2 FM, and it's great fun because I get to live, I suppose, more of a normal life, I guess. You know, I get up in the morning and I travel into the radio and, you know, grab a coffee on the way, and all that routine I never had in Westlife. You know, it was, you know, country and airports, you know, consistently traveling. But if you're asking me, did I want to do something next? Yeah, acting, I could try that. That'd be interesting. So if there's any Hollywood directors out there, my number, get my manager over there. But I'm quite happy on radio. I do like, obviously, singing. I have a brand new album out at the moment. It's called Sunlight. And I feel I'm proud of the album because having spent 14 years in Westlife, it's nice to do your own thing and go in and not have a record company screaming at you for, you know, deadlines, and just go in there and write all the great times you had on paper and stuff like that. So
You spent some time in Stockholm over the years, recording, touring.
So what would you recommend for them to do and see while they're in Stockholm?
well, you got to go see the Vasa, the ship Vasa in the museum. That's incredible. We did that years ago. And there was a great place that we used to go all the time, which I believe is still open, Cafe Opera. I don't know if Cafe Opera.
Probably been there.
We've had lots of parties in Cafe Opera. But yeah, I mean, Sweden's great. I lived here, not lived, but spent a lot of time recording with Westlife, with Max Martin, and Rami, and Jake, and Jurgen Olofsson, and loads of people. And I had great memories. So, and obviously the tours were great too. So Sweden's a beautiful country and has always been very welcoming to Westlife. And again, it's been probably 5-6 years since I've been back. But from the moment I got here, I think everybody would agree. We're just having a great fun, and it really is a good party.
Last question, Alistair.
Now I'm going to ask a football question. I hope that's okay at the Eurovision. But I read somewhere that a few years ago you were involved in a memorial match for the victims of the Hillsborough disaster. How did you feel at the time, and what's your reaction to recent revelations?
Well, that was a long time ago now. That was the memorial game I played in was in Anfield for the 20th anniversary of Hillsborough, and it's now 27 years, isn't it? So that was 7 years ago. First of all, it was great to be asked. It was put together by Jason McAteer, who played for Liverpool in Ireland, and sold out Anfield event. It was celebrities and ex-professionals played, and a lot of the families came on the pitch at the end and sang "You Never Walk Alone" in front of the comp, which, let me tell you, when you hear that being sung even in a ground anytime is incredible. But for some of the families to come on and do it was very special. And I suppose now 7 years on and having watched it closely, I think it's probably the best closure that the families will get. Obviously, it seemed to be, from what I can see and what's proven now, a massive cover-up. And obviously the families have fought hard and they've gotten their justice. There was a very famous justice for the 96. And what's lovely and very special is a lot of the other clubs around Europe know that story and sing that they'll have the banners and sing "You Never Walk Alone." You saw Villarreal do it last week, and many clubs. And there's a lot of rivalry in football, but right down to the bitter rivals and the closest rivals, obviously they put their feelings aside for Hillsborough. And I think as a football supporter, what happened that day, you just can't imagine happening again. 96 people to lose their lives at a football match, it's just insane. But yeah, I think for the family now, I think they have their closure. It's best they're probably ever going to get it, and rightly so, deservedly so.
Thank you very much. Nicky and the band, give them a warm hand, please. Thank you very much.